Questions. If someone told you, hey, look, I know exactly what you need to do in order to start your business. I know the exact steps you should take. I know exactly what you should avoid. These are the exact 1, 2, 3, A, B, Z, X, Y, Z steps that you should take. Would you actually go ahead and start your business? After all these months or even years that you said, hey, I'm gonna start this business, you know, would you actually push away the excuses? Would you push away those reasons on why you can't start? And would you actually go ahead and start your business if there was someone guiding you every step of the way that would tell you, hey, avoid this, hey, watch out for that, hey, make sure you do this? Would you actually do that? Well, in reality, you're not gonna have someone that does that. So in this video, I'm gonna give you the 4 reasons why you should still start your business, your detailing business, in 2020. But first, we gotta get to the first customer's location. I actually am running a bit behind time. Let's go. I'm trying to stay in the shade. So this is a 2008 Land Rover for interior cleaning. This is the second vehicle we did for this customer at this complex. The first one was a Jaguar XF something. So this one is the first vehicle of the day. Not much really, it's leather, it makes it super easy. It's not that dirty. So we're gonna knock this one out and then head on to the second location. So reason number 1 why you should start your business is that it never gets easier. Meaning there's a scale from 1 to 10. 1 being easy, 10 being difficult. For most of us, across the scale, whether you have all the resources that you want, whether you have the most limited resources, the scale we're gonna fall on between how difficult it is for us to start is gonna be between like a 6 to an 8. Now I say this because it's all contextual, meaning if you have a $10,000 budget, okay, you are gonna have different problems than someone that has no budget. You're still gonna have problems. You're still gonna have issues you have to solve through, but you're still gonna have a level of difficulty you have to overcome. And yes, having a $10,000 starting point is easier than not having a $10,000 starting point. I understand that, but just speaking in a contextual fashion is that everyone is still gonna have problems. So even if you have these resources, even if you don't, even if you have this or that, it's still gonna be a difficult process. That means that you're still gonna have the fear of starting. You're still gonna have the fear of failing. You're still gonna have those nerves in you of like, can I really do this? Are people gonna look at me differently? If I tell people I'm gonna start this business, are they gonna expect me to be successful? You're still gonna have these thoughts regardless of when you start or what you have to start, because these are just internal emotions. These are internal thoughts that you have with yourself of like, man, what are people gonna think? Am I gonna be able to do this? I don't want people to see that I failed. If I post it on social media, then people are gonna know what I'm doing. I don't want people to think I'm not gonna be able to do it. Like, what if I don't do it 2 months from now? And you have all these internal thoughts of like why you can't or why you shouldn't, or these just like internal pressures of, can I really do this? And then what happens? You say, okay, I'm a little nervous right now, but next week for sure. After this party this weekend, next weekend for sure. Next month for sure. And then this happens week after week, month after month, where you're saying, okay, right now I'll just give myself 2 more weeks to prepare myself. And then you feel good for 2 weeks. You're like, yeah, I'm excited. Then that day comes where you're like, okay, now's the day to finally get started. And then you're like, you know what? No, 1 more week, 1 more month. And then this keeps on going over and over. And ultimately, you just never start your business. You just hope that one day things come to you and things get started. But other than that, you're just hoping for the next week, next month, someone is gonna happen, and then you're gonna be successful. Or at least at that point, you're gonna have the courage to start. But that's not how it is. It never gets easier to start. Second reason why you should start is that you're never gonna be fully ready. Meaning, once you get those business shirts, once you get that logo, once you get that website, once you get that polisher, once you get that whatever XYZ you think you need, you'll be like, you know what? I just need one more thing before I get started, and that will never be done. You always have that one other thing, that one other item, that one other to-do list, or the to-do task to complete, in order to say, yeah, you know what? now I'm fully ready. You know what? You will never be. Even if you have a $10,000 budget, even if you go get trained, you will always feel like you lack something before you get started. And unfortunately, you can't be completely ready until you actually start. Once you actually get the ball rolling and you're in the weeds and you're actually taking action day in and day out, that's when you'll be like, oh, okay, you know what? I didn't really think about that. I need to do that. Oh, I didn't really think that was gonna happen. Let me do that. So until you actually start taking action, that's when you'll see what you really need. Anything before that, you're just making pure assumptions of what you think might happen, and that's just hindering progress, and that's slowing you down, and that's ultimately just procrastination. Alright, so this vehicle is all done. It was just a interior cleaning, just cleaned the leather. It was pretty straightforward. Probably the most difficult part was the carpeting, just because there was no floor mat, so the carpeting had a lot of stains and such. But the leather seats, door panels, all the plastic material, super easy. Didn't touch the headliner because half of the headliner was already sagging. We charged $220. It took about 2-ish hours. So now we're heading off to the second location. Again, this comes down to your lack of confidence and possibly the fear of the unknown, where you don't know what's gonna happen, so you try to think about all these other things that you think you might need, and a lot of it is just made up in your head, right? Like, you're making up all these scenarios, all these assumptions, and you're saying, well, you know what if I run into this type of situation, so I'll need to have this. But the problem is, until you run into the situation, you don't know if you're gonna need it. And trust me, I went through that the exact same way, where I'm like, hey, you know what? If a customer comes to me with this type of problem, I need to have that tool or product, so let me order it. And what happened is that I had a whole bunch of tools and products that I eventually never used because I never really needed that product for that situation that I thought up in my head months before. And a great quote of starting now rather than later, regardless of where you are right now with your offerings, with your business, with your arsenal, with your skills or experience, is a great quote from the LinkedIn founder, Reid Hoffman. I have his quote right here, and it says, if you are not embarrassed by the first version of your product, you've launched too late. I'm gonna say it again. If you're not embarrassed by the first version of your product, you've launched too late. That means the sooner you start your business and the quicker you can go through those first iterations, the better. If you're waiting for a perfect product or just a better product than what you can do right now, you're starting too late. You're procrastinating too much. So yes, your business is gonna look sexy. You're not gonna have all the fancy items. You're not gonna offer the full 2-step paint correction and coating, and they're gonna start working on Ferraris and Lambos and Porsches and all these high-end vehicles. It's not gonna happen that way. But is it ever gonna come to that point if you don't start now? Of course not. Alright, reason number 3 is everyone is gonna have their own journey. We're all gonna have our own starting points. We're all gonna have our own stories to tell of how we started the business, or how the business started, or how the business progressed. So stop trying to be like, well, that person has this and I don't. That person has that and I don't. Well, guess what? You have something that someone else doesn't. And it's not always just a monetary thing that you need, or, you know, resource that you need. Does money help? Yes. Is money the only answer? No. The more money you have, does that mean you're going to be more successful? Not at all. There's no correlation between how much money you have and how much success or how fast you grow. Just think about all those companies, movies, everything, where they have a huge millions and millions of dollars in funding, and the movie, the product, the business, it just, a few months or years, it just sucks. You know, it goes belly up. They have to shut down because it wasn't a viable, or it wasn't a thriving business. So just because you have more money doesn't mean you're gonna have a better chance at winning. It does help, but that doesn't mean you're just gonna automatically, by default, you have a higher chance of success. That's why I keep on preaching, is that don't compare yourself to others. Stop looking at other detailers. Stop keeping tabs of other people and saying, oh, what are they doing? What is he doing? What is she doing? What vehicle are they working on? It doesn't do you any good. If you're focusing on someone else, that means you're not focusing on yourself. If you know if you know details of another detailer, what is the point of that? What value does that bring you other than you're being nosy? Other than you're letting other people live rent-free in your head? Like, what is the point of keeping track of others? Right? You will be successful if you just follow your own lane. If you just stay in your lane and keep your head down and work at your own pace and do what you can. Don't worry about the others, all right? Some people are gonna be ahead of you. You're gonna be ahead of others. It is what it is, all right? Everyone has their time to shine as long as you stay in your lane and keep on working. So don't compare yourself to others. That would definitely that'll definitely slow down your progress and give you a reason why not to start. Because if you're like, oh, I want to start, but man, that person already has a shop and he's 5 miles away from me, so I can't work this area. No, that's not how it works. That's not how it works. You can't say, oh, there's 5 mobile detailers and I wanted to service that area, I guess I can't do that anymore. No, that's not how it works. There's plenty of customers for everyone. But if you compare yourself to other detailers, you're always gonna feel like there's already too many detailers, or there's too many detailers and there's not enough customers to go by. And that's all a myth, false, misconception, a lie. A lot of you are not gonna want to hear this, but please understand this, is that right now you're gonna continue to see more competitors in your area. Okay, more and more detailers are gonna enter the market. They're gonna enter your area. The barrier to entry is very, very low. Now that's not a bad thing, that's not a good thing. It's just the current state of what we're in. So if you're trying to grow your business based on the number of detailers in your area, guess what? There's just gonna be more and more. On that same note though, the more detailers that come up, plenty of detailers fall out, okay? So it's like, and don't get me wrong, more detailers are gonna come in than fall out, but the idea is like, I get messages and DMs and emails of like, hey man, like, there's too many detailers in my area. I'm thinking about going, you know, to whatever city or county. And it's like, you can't base the success or failure of your business based on how many detailers are in your area. If that's the case, go to Nowhere Island and be the only detailer and service the 10 vehicles that are there. You can't base your business and its success off of the amount of detailers in your area. I'm in Houston, the 4th largest city. We have detailers on every single detailers and car wash spots, left and right on every corner, okay? I'm in the 4th largest city. You're not in a bigger city than I am. You don't have more competition than I do in my area. And guess what? It's no problem. There's plenty of customers to go by. Alright, and that's gonna wrap up the second vehicle. We started working at 1:30, finished at 2:32, so 2 hours, started $200, it was $100 an hour. No big deal, seats came out great. I didn't catch any before just because I wanted to get straight to the work, so my apologies on that, but overall it was just another interior cleaning. And that brings me to my 4th point, to where you don't have to commit to this forever. And what do I mean by that? What I'm saying is you don't have to quit your day job. You don't have to go all into your business when you first get started. If you want to do it part-time, you can do that. If you want to do it ever so often, a couple times per month, that's fine. You don't have to say, okay, well, I have to start a business, so okay, so I have to sacrifice the weekends and I have to start working 50 hours a week and I'm not supposed to sleep as. You don't have to do any of that. You have to dump in $5,000 the first couple months? No. Do you have to go and dedicate your entire life to it? No. If you want to give it up, can you? Yes. If it's going successful, can you grow it? Yes. If it's going successful but you don't like it, do you have to continue it? No. There are so many limitations that you put yourself on that they're just made up. There's no guidelines, there's no criteria, there's no parameters. Like, if you like it, if you enjoy it, continue it. If you need to work on it, get better, progress with it, grow it. If you don't like it at all, well, just give it up. That's why it's better to start small, make incremental progress as you can, and then decide, okay, I do kind of enjoy it, I don't, I'm confused here, I'm confused there. But you don't have to be like, okay, I'm quitting my job in 2 weeks, because then what? You don't have as many finances, you can't pay your bills, your wife is starting to get mad at you, you can't go out as much, you start looking for a job, the finances get stressful, you get stressful, it takes an impact on your relationship. You don't need all of that. You can start small. Alright, but that's gonna end the day. Hopefully these tips, reasons, things kind of help you start your business. I really want to help you just take that first step. Again, I'm not saying you have to go and just expand and grow within 6 months. No, just take it easy, progress day by day. Hopefully this video helped you out. Leave a comment, like it. August 14th, I'll be opening up enrollment into SEO for Detailers, my marketing course that helps you rank your website on the first page of Google. So check the description box or in the comment section for a waiting list link if you want to get more information about that. Other than that, if you want to see me deadlift, I will post that after this. But I'll see you on the next one.